Hello. What is that? Yeah, well, whatever. Hi. Hello. Morning, y'all. I never know what I'm saying when I start this. Let's just jump in, okay? We're in Leviticus. We're going through 18 through 20. Nope. We're going through 19 and 20, and then Psalms 36. We are just picking up pretty much from where we left off yesterday, which was ways to honor people with your sexual conduct, or not, defile yourself through your sexual conduct. Then there were we read through Psalms, and we really read that was just an outcry, really, of how David just was crying or pleading to God to lift him up and to fight for him. So yeah, I attached the devotional video today. There's a devotional video and there's an overview video. Now, the overview video I've attached to these videos quite a few times, so like if you've seen it already, you kind of already know what the Leviticus broad points of view are. The devotional video is similar in the way that like it also talks about the purpose of Leviticus, but the breakdown of the videos are different. So I attached both of them. They may seem similar, but they have their differences. So go watch those, take it in if you want a bit more insight onto what we're reading through and why. Leviticus is difficult to read, but its core message is amazing. The heart of the book is about God graciously providing a way for sinful, broken people to live near His holy presence so they can find wholeness and life. Holiness and personal conduct. The Lord also said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to the entire community of Israel. You must be holy because I, the Lord your God, am holy. Each of you must show great respect for your mother and father, and you must always observe my Sabbath days of rest. I am the Lord your God. Do not put your trust in idols or make metal images of gods for yourselves. I am the Lord your God. When you sacrifice a peace offering to the Lord, offer it properly so you will be accepted by God. The sacrifice must be eaten on the same day you offer it or on the next day. Whatever is left over until the third day must be completely burned up. If any of the sacrifice is eaten on the third day, it will be contaminated and I will not accept it. Anyone who eats it on the third day will be punished for defiling what is holy to the Lord and will be cut off from the community. When you harvest crops of your land, do not harvest the grain along the edges of your fields, and do not pick up what the harvesters drop. It is the same with your grape crop. Do not strip every last bunch of grapes from the vines, and do not pick up the grapes that fall on the ground. Leave them for the poor and the foreigners living among you. I am the Lord your God. Do not steal. Do not deceive or cheat one another. Do not bring shame on the name of your God by using it to swear falsely. I am the Lord. Do not defraud or rob your neighbor. Do not make your hired workers wait until the next day to receive their pay. Do not insult the deaf or cause the blind to stumble. You must fear your God. I am the Lord. Do not twist justice in legal matters by favoring the poor or being partial to the rich and powerful. Always judge people fairly. Do not spread slanderous gossip about your people, among your people. Do not stand idly by when your neighbor's life is threatened. I am the Lord. Do not nurse hatred in your heart for any of your relatives. Confront people directly so you will not be held guilty of their sin. Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against a fellow Israelite, but love your neighbors as yourself. I am the Lord. You must obey all my decrees. Do not make two different kinds of animals. Do not plant your field with two different kinds of seeds. Do not wear clothing woven from two different kinds of thread. If a man has sex with a slave girl whose freedom has never been purchased, but who is committed to become another man's wife, he must pay full compensation to her master. He's committed to become another man's wife. If a man has sex with a slave girl, he must pay full compensation to her master. But since she is not a free woman, neither the man nor the woman will be put to death. The man, however, must bring a ram as a guilt offering and present it to the Lord at the entrance of the tabernacle. The priest will then purify him before the Lord with the ram of the guilt offering, and the man's sin will be forgiven. When you enter the land and plant fruit trees, leave the fruit unharvested for the first 3 years and consider it forbidden. Do not eat it. In the 4th year, the entire crop must be consecrated to the Lord as a celebration of praise. Finally, in the 5th year, you may eat the fruit. If you follow this pattern, your harvest will increase. I am the Lord your God. Do not eat meat that has not been drained of its blood. Do not practice fortune-telling or witchcraft. Do not trim off the hair on your temples or trim your beards. Do not cut your bodies for the dead. Do not cut your bodies for the dead. And do not mark your skin with tattoos. I am the Lord. Do not cut your bodies for the dead. Do not cut your bodies for the dead. Do not defile your daughter by making her a prostitute, or the land will be filled with prostitution and wickedness. Keep my Sabbath days of rest and show reverence towards my sanctuary. I am the Lord. Do not defile yourselves by turning to mediums or to those who consult the spirits of the dead. I am the Lord your God. Stand up in the presence of the elderly and show respect for the aged. Fear your God. I am the Lord. Do not take advantage of foreigners who live among you in your land. Treat them like native-born Israelites and love them as you love yourself. Remember that you were once foreigners living in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Do not use dishonest standards when measuring length, weight, or volume. Your scales and weights must be accurate. Your containers for measuring dry materials or liquids must be accurate. I am the Lord, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt. You must be careful. to keep all of my decrees and regulations by putting them into practice. I am the Lord. Punishments for disobedience. The Lord said to Moses, "Give the people of Israel these instructions, which apply both to native Israelites and to foreigners living in Israel. If any of them offer their children as a sacrifice to Molech, they must be put to death. The people of the community must stone them to death. I myself would turn against them and cut them off from the community, because they have defiled my sanctuary and brought shame to my holy name by offering their children to Molech. And if the people of the community ignore those who offer their children to Molech and refuse to execute them, I myself will turn against them and their families and will cut them off from the community. This will happen to all who commit spiritual prostitution by worshiping Molech." Spiritual prostitution. I'm sorry, that's that. Because again, it's such a vivid, you clearly know what he means. You can't go around engaging with these other gods and thinking you clean. This is engaging in spiritual prostitution. I will also turn against those who commit spiritual prostitution by putting their trust in mediums, or in those who consult the spirits of the dead. I will cut them off from the community. So set yourselves apart to be holy, for I am the Lord your God. Keep all my decrees by putting them into practice, for I am the Lord who makes you holy. Anyone who dishonors father or mother must be put to death. Such a person is guilty of a capital offense. If a man commits adultery with his neighbor's wife, both the man and the woman who have committed adultery must be put to death. If a man violates his father by having sex with one of his father's wives, both the man and the woman must be put to death, for they are guilty of a capital offense. If a man has sex with his daughter-in-law, both must be put to death. They have committed a perverse act and are guilty of a capital offense. If a man practices homosexuality, having sex with another man as with a woman, both men have committed a detestable act. They must be put to death, for they are guilty of a capital offense. If a man marries both a woman and her mother, he has committed a wicked act. The man and both women must be burned to death to wipe out such wickedness from among you. If a man has sex with an animal, he must be put to death, and the animal must be killed. If a woman presents herself to a male animal to have intercourse with it, she and the animal must both be put to death. You must kill both, for they are guilty of a capital offense. If a man marries his sister, the daughter of either his father or his mother, they have sexual relations, it is a shameful disgrace. They must be publicly cut off from the community. Since the man has violated his sister, he will be punished for his sin. If the man has sexual relations with a woman during her menstrual period, both of them must be cut off from the community, for together they have exposed the source of her blood flow. Do not have sexual relations with your aunt, whether your mother's sister or your father's sister. This would dishonor a close relative. Both parties are guilty and will be punished for their sin. If a man has sex with his uncle's wife, he has violated his uncle. Both the man and woman will be punished for their sin, and they will die childless. If a man marries his brother's wife, it is an act of impurity. He has violated his brother, and the guilty couple will remain childless. You must keep all my decrees and regulations by putting them into practice. Otherwise, the land to which I am bringing you as your new home will vomit you out. Do not live according to the customs of the people I am driving out before you. It is because they do these shameful things that I detest them. But I have promised you, you will possess their land because I will give it to you as your possession, a land flowing with milk and honey. I am the Lord your God, who has set you apart from all other people. You must therefore make a distinction between ceremonially clean and unclean animals, and between clean and unclean birds. You must not defile yourselves by eating any unclean animal or bird or creature that scurries along the ground. I have identified them as being clean, as being unclean for you. You must be holy because I, the Lord, am holy. I have set you apart from all other people to be my very own. Men and women among you who act as mediums or who consult the spirits of the dead must be put to death by stoning. They are guilty of a capital offense. So, in all of the readings for today and all of the readings for yesterday, we see don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. And it was basically just laying down what to do and what not to do. And today's reading, we found, okay, if you behaved in these acts, if you did what I told you not to do, this is the consequence. There's a part where he says, don't engage in what the people around you in these lands are doing just because, that's their customs. Don't engage in that because that's the very reason they are going to be spit out from the land. And for me, that rings true to today. I've had conversations where I myself was like, dang, you see them going about life the way they feel like it, with no restraint, no self-control. You see them engaging in life as they please. And you're like, well, they're fine. They're okay. Nothing's happening over there. But you don't know what's happening over there in terms of what kind of spiritual consequences they're bringing onto themselves. Because you're not with them the whole step of the way, every step of the way. You just see a glimpse. You see a small glimpse, a small showing of, if they're being prosperous, or you're like, they're reaping great benefits. They're living flashy lives. Da-da-da-da-da. But you don't know for sure what's happening internally, what turmoil they're experiencing but not showing. You don't know what battles they're going through spiritually, what turmoils they're facing but not showing. You just see glimpses, and as they pass by, as they interact with your life a little bit. But you can't say that those glimpses are now acceptable to become your examples of how you live life. Not if you're trying to set yourself apart as one of God's people. And I don't say as a Christian or as a whatever, because religion has its own barriers, right? Religion has its own binds. But being one of God's people, that's a separate distinction, I feel like. We're in Psalms 36. For the choir director, a psalm of David, the servant of the Lord. Sin whispers to the wicked deep within their hearts. What? Really? Really? Sin whispers to the wicked. Yes, deep within their hearts. They have no fear of God at all. In their blind conceit, They cannot see how wicked they really are. Everything they say is crooked and deceitful. They refuse to act wisely or do good. They lie awake at night hatching sinful plots. Their actions are never good. They make no attempt to turn from evil. Your unfailing love, O Lord, is as vast as the heavens. Your faithfulness reaches beyond the clouds. Your righteousness is like the mighty mountains. Your justice like the ocean depths. You care for people and animals alike, O Lord. How precious is your unfailing love, O God. All humanity finds shelter in the shadow of your wings. You feed them from the abundance of your own house, letting them drink from your rivers of delights. For you are the fountain of life, the light by which we see. Pour out your unfailing love on those who love you. Give justice to those with honest hearts. Don't let the proud trample me or the wicked push me around. Look, those who do evil have fallen. They have thrown down, never to rise again. They are thrown down, never to rise again. Yeah. You don't know what punishment awaits those people you're idolizing because they're being flashy. Or idolizing. I don't know. Yeah, maybe idolizing. Yeah. I don't know. For me, what I'm trying to ground myself in is the understanding that while it may be difficult, while the waiting is uneasy, and sometimes the reassurance doesn't come right away, you know? But the waiting is where your faith is displayed. So, I don't want anything. I want a prosperous life. Like, yo, yes, I want prosperity, please. Like, I want it. But I know what I will and will not sacrifice for. And I will not sacrifice the godlier way of doing things to gain prosperity. Because that prosperity will feel void to me. What I am willing to sacrifice is doing everything the godly way that I can within my power, in my faith, is doing everything that way and still ending up scraping by, you know? But I doubt that that's ever going to be the outcome here. I strongly don't, there's no part of me that believes in doing this, I'm going to be scraping by, you know, in trying to follow through with God's wisdom, with God's decrees for my life, and trying to figure them out, because obviously these decrees don't fit today, not all of them, but in trying to figure them out, I know that as I walk towards that, as I pursue that, as I set my mind, my heart, my faith, my spirituality, all of it in that direction, and as I do what it takes to get everything to go that way, there's no way at the end of it I'm going to be scraping by. I just don't see that happening, because when the provisions come in, ooh, do they come in good. When the provisions come in and you're like, dang, God, you're good. Like, the waiting, and you get exactly what you want, what you needed, how you needed it. The waiting, and you get exactly what you needed to break free from that anxiety that was trying to creep up on you. The waiting, and you get exactly what you imagined, but extra. You're like, I didn't even know it could be this good. I there's no way. There's no way I see myself scraping by, going in this aligned way towards God. Like, in this, like, trying to align myself, all of my parts, into following God. I don't see me scraping bottom of the barrel at the end of that, However, I'm willing to bet everything on it, and I know that bet means I have to be okay with living a rough life. Because He's not saying follow me and I'm going to pave an easy road, smooth, a fresh paved road before you. No, He's saying I'll light your way. And lighting your way means you go off road. Because if He is lighting your way, it means you're going off road. All the roads that are already out there, they're lit. All the ones that they got lights on them. But God's lighting your way, so He's taking you somewhere different, bro. He's taking you somewhere that hasn't been explored. He's taking you in ways that people are looking, why you making that turn? Why you going left? He says, you gotta go straight, bro. Like, He's taking you somewhere that's different, because He's taking you on your personal route, not a lit route. So yeah, as God, as you lead me through my personal journey, my personal route, as you light the path for that, and as you lead everyone here through their personal journey and in their path, and as you light the way and you see us stumble through the dips in the dirt, or the rock that trips us up, or the little pebbles that hurt our feet, or whatever it is that makes us slow down in our pace as we get tired through the walk, as we get renewed and start running, as we are unsteady on our feet. Thank you for always meeting us where we are. Thank you for lighting the way. Thank you for being patient, faithful, gracious, and compassionate to our woes, to our short-sightedness. Thank you, Father God. As we continue to read and steep ourselves in your word, as we continue to ponder biblical texts, please have your Holy Spirit speak out to us. Speak out to us so we know exactly which of these words apply to our current position in life, to what we are currently facing, what we're currently being attacked by, what we're currently being pursued by, what currently stands in our way. Help us understand your wisdom, so that we may break free of the customs this world has for us, of the customs that lead us into spiritual restraint. I know by seeking you, I am seeking spiritual freedom. And I know seeking spiritual freedom comes at the cost of a rebellion against this world, against the way things are done here. And most rebellions, they garner attention, man. There will always be someone trying to stop us. There will always be someone who thinks we need their 2 cents. There will always be someone going, why are you doing it that way? Attempting to sow doubt within us. And that someone might be ourselves from time to time. But strengthen our faith with your reassurance. Strengthen our faith with the text. Strengthen our faith with the examples of who you are. You are the Lord, our God. hope that as we move forward from this day and the preceding days, we are able to relinquish our burdens, our worries, our troubles, even our desires and hopes and fears. We're able to relinquish those into you and let you do your work, Father God. Let you do the work. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Yeah. Good luck moving forward, y'all. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.